This is Las Meninas Project 3, and it's definitive statements. So, hold on. Yeah. Okay, if I like definitive claims or not. That's the first question. I I feel like sometimes you like definitive claims, but sometimes you don't. So I think in this moment, I was all right with them. That doesn't mean like everything the man said, I was like, that was the one. Like, you can refute it in your own head. But like, sometimes when there's so much uncertainty and you're trying to look to something or someone to lead, maybe, or just a a rock or like something to lean on, you would look for the first definitive claim or something that kind of reins in like all the confusion, if that makes sense. I feel like in that sense that definitive claim, that's like when definitive claims would definitely be um, wanted, or when you're confused and you're like, I just need something, definitive claims would definitely help. Especially also definitive claims could be quite useful when you're kind of passionate about something that you're like, oh, I think this is something or this, and then yeah, definitive claims would definitely be the way to go. But there are also times when you don't. Definitive claims aren't necessarily needed or wanted. Um, but in this sense, I do like definitive claims. Uh, Spots where I see something else. Huh. Well, first, let's talk about what he said. So, Dr. Richard Stimp, he said, he talked about how Velasquez is painting the king and queen. I agree with that. Because I said this because I was like, oh, this is definitely kind of, in my video, I was like, I think that Velasquez is painting the queen because of like the way everything was positioned. That's why I think that. I also agree with how the girl is looking at the king and queen. So like everybody, the painter, the girl, and like I think the other lady in waiting and some other characters, they're all looking at where we would be. And if you think about it, exactly where we would be, since it's a mirror reflection, is where the king and queen would necessarily be as well. They're like somewhere in our general area, if you don't want to be that definitive then. But they're in our general area, if that makes sense. So they would definitely be looking at, I guess, the king and queen, because that's the only thing that you could think of at that moment. But there's other things that also they could be looking at, but they're all looking at in that direction of the king and queen. Um, Something that he pointed out though that I found quite interesting was that hmm, ah I didn't notice how like the girl, like this is what his one of his definitive claims was, that the girl, the lady in waiting, the one standing up, was curtsying to like the king and queen, or like curtsying to almost the same way that the king and queen just arrived, which was like technically another possibility. But at the same time, honestly, about that one, I was like, I don't know, because honestly, at the same time, it just looked like she's bending down. Like, not even curtsying, but like, just like, she could be doing so, like, other things as well. But it just looked like like, she was taller than the princess, right? She literally could have just bent down to talk to her. Like, it's like, not too much on the, like, the curtsying. I was like, okay. But, I also found it interesting, like, on how, like, the little person putting their foot on the dog kind of insinuated that he was conquering it. That in itself, it's a definitive claim, except for it's just like you can't really tell, if that makes sense. It's like you can't go into the painting and ask this person why they were doing something or pick up that emotion from it. So it was just like, okay, that's a cool, interesting fact that he had, but I feel like it was just, it's definitive, but like you don't have much evidence to back that up. Just like what they were doing, but at the same time, it's just like you don't. It's not like you can go in there and like, oh, why'd you do it? But other possibilities, I didn't really see many possibilities. I also noticed on the painting that Velasquez was painting, I just tried to look for something on the painting itself, and like it's like a canvas and it was a little see-through, but only because like the colors on the canvas were darker. Like it was dark at the bottom, like a good portion of the canvas, and then the top was also dark. Like if you look at the canvas that Velasquez is painting in the portrait, it's like, yeah, I was trying to look for something in there. I didn't find anything, but I would have thought like maybe it could kind of help with what you think that everybody is looking at, basically. But yeah, that's what I think.